And you're looking live in Northampton, where they're holding a news conference on the arrest and arraignment of Anthony Bay, who is facing murder and arson charges in connection with the deadly fire on Fair Street. This is Northwestern District Attorney Elizabeth Scheibel.
As you can see, there is a group of people behind me, but certainly there is another long line of people that are in the hallway that I don't think can fit in here, but it will give you an indication of the number of people that were involved in this investigation. I think we can, and I think it would be important.
Some of them can come in.
Yeah.
There we go.
Really. It'll be warm and we'll be close, but you really should get an indication or a feeling of just how many people. This represents a fraction of the number of people involved in the investigation of these crimes. But today I'm joined by Northampton Mayor Claire Higgins, Massachusetts State Police Lieutenant Colonel Frank Matthews, State Fire Marshal Stephen Cohen, ATF Special Agent in Charge Andy Anderson, Rob Tassinelli, Group Supervisor, and others to announce the arrest and arraignment of Anthony P. Bay, age 25, of 85 Hawley Street, Northampton, on the following charges: 2 counts of murder and 1 count each of arson and armed burglary in the unlawful killings of Paul Yeske Sr., age 81, and his son, Paul Yeske Jr., age 39, on Sunday, December 27, 2009. The armed burglary is based on Mr. Bay entering the enclosed front porch of the Yeske home through a closed but unlocked front porch door while armed with a lighter, which under the circumstances meets the statutory criteria for a dangerous weapon. While Mr. Bay has been arrested for crimes solely relating to the 17 Fair Street fire, I anticipate that additional charges will be forthcoming in the next several weeks. In the interest of informing the public the results of the investigation, I can provide today a more complete picture of the events of December 27th. As you know, on Sunday morning, December 27, 2009, a series of suspicious fires occurred in the city of Northampton between 2 a.m. and 3:15 a.m. The fires involved 15 separate suspicious fires involving numerous structures and motor vehicles in the greater downtown area of the city. The addresses of the fires are as follows, and some of the streets with multiple numbers are grouped together: 26 Union Street, 10 Highland and 18 Highland, 32 Highland Avenue in Northampton, 17 Fair Street, 25, 40, and 42 William Street, 16 Pomeroy Terrace, 16 Northern Avenue, 5 and 11 Crescent Street, 117 Franklin Street, 36 Henry Street, 42 Fruit Street, all in the city of Northampton. The fire at 17 Fair Street resulted in the deaths of Paul Yeske Sr. and Jr. The results of the autopsy performed of the 2 men, as released previously, indicated that both men died as a result of asphyxia due to smoke inhalation with thermal injuries, that is to say, as a result of the fire. Preliminary investigation indicated that the origin and cause of that fire, as well as the other fires that occurred within the 75-minute period, were incendiary and not accidental. As you also know, I formed a joint agency task force to handle the investigation, comprised of local, state, and federal fire and police investigators. Those investigators, along with Deputy First Assistant District Attorney Beth Ferris and Assistant District Attorney Mike Kaling, have been working literally around the clock. Late last evening, January 4th, 2010, police arrested Anthony P. Bay on the charges I mentioned a moment ago: 2 counts of murder and 1 count each of arson and armed burglary, carrying with them a maximum of life in prison with no parole. I want to publicly thank all the members of the Joint Task Force for their hard work and dedication to this investigation. This includes members of the State Fire Marshal's Office, in conjunction with fire investigators from the Northampton and Amherst Fire Departments, uniform officers and detectives of the Northampton Police Department, the Massachusetts State Police Detective Unit assigned to my office, with the assistance of Crime Scene Services sections of the Northampton Police Department and Massachusetts State Police, as well as personnel assigned to the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory, East Hampton Police Department, agents from the United States Department of Justice, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, and the assistant district attorneys who coordinated the investigation. I also want to thank Mayor Higgins for her calm and steady leadership over this past week. I want to remind the community that the arrest and arraignment of Mr. Bay is just the beginning of a long road to trial. To the residents of Northampton, I want to give my sincere thanks for the support that you have shown the investigators over this past week. With a case of this magnitude, there must always be a balance of preserving the integrity of the investigation while trying to allay the concerns of the community. Despite some efforts to sensationalize this case, the residents of Northampton responded in a restrained and appropriate way, letting the investigators do their jobs. In addition, I think it's important to note that we received close to 300 tips on this investigation, countless numbers from citizens themselves. The information was critical to helping us solve this case. This investigation is ongoing, so I will not comment on a possible motive, except to say that it appears to have been a random spree. As I said earlier, all of the fires that occurred on December 27th are related. As to the possible connection to the previous fires dating back 3 to 4 years, we are continuing to investigate. At this time, let me call on Mayor Higgins to address you.
I want to thank District Attorney Elizabeth Scheibel for her leadership in this investigation, and I want to thank all of the members of the team for the incredibly quick work that they did in bringing someone to justice for the crimes committed on December 27th. I especially want to praise the members of Northampton's own police department for the countless hours of work that they put in and the dedication that they've shown to solving this crime, a crime that happened in our community and they wanted to solve. And I want to thank them for the work that they did. They did incredible work. I want to, again, thank our fire department for the incredible work they did both on December 27th and the work in terms of cooperating with the task force and for the fire investigation. You know, this couldn't have been done without the partnership on the state level with the state police, on the federal level with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and again, the leadership of District Attorney Scheibel and her staff. And I want to thank her, Steve Cohn, and the folks from the state police for the work they did. The other thing I think it's important for citizens of our community to remember, as the DA said, we have an arrest, but there is no conviction, and that it is important to stay vigilant. All the things that you were going to do yesterday to help keep our community safe, you should do today and you should do tomorrow. You should help your neighbor if they need help. You should keep your porch clean. You should have those lights installed. You should be continuing to call in suspicious activity that you see and join in a neighborhood watch if one is formed in your area, because this incident, unfortunately, showed us our vulnerability and how we need to reach out and take care of each other. So we will be working with citizens to continue that kind of work to help keep us safe. Thank you.
That was Mayor Mary Claire Higgins from Northampton. You've been watching a news conference involving District Attorney Elizabeth Scheibel and the investigation that has resulted in the arrest of 25-year-old Anthony Bay. He has been arrested for arson and is facing 2 murder charges in the deaths of Paul Yeske and Paul Yeske Jr. D.A. Scheibel says that Bay entered the closed front porch at 17 Fair Street, the residence of the Yeskes, armed with a lighter, and that meets the criteria for a dangerous weapon. They received close to 300 tips in this investigation. The DA does say, Elizabeth Scheibel does say that there's no comment right now on a possible motive for the crimes, but she said that it appears to be a random spree. And she also considers that all these fires are related, although so far Bay has only been charged in the deadly fire that took the lives of Paul Yeske and Paul Yeske Jr. Well, much